So, as you all can see, I have survived another convention. San Diego Comic-Con 2026 is officially in the books, and let me tell you, it was a bigger bop than any other time I've gone. This year marked 20 years for me. 2006 was my very first one, and now we come around to 2026. And let me tell you, this year held so many more memories in a different capacity, but I'm going to share that with y'all. So, you're ready. I'm ready. Brain, mouth, heart, new microphone, officially another badge on two sides. So, let's do this. And I'm trying something different with my setup because I'm normally sitting down, but I'm standing up because it's too much energy to be sitting in front of a computer trying to do this. So, yeah, let's go. Get ready.
Let me hear you sing. 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 Let me hear you sing.
I'm back. Don't I look better? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, blurs and nerds of all ages, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It is I, Navy Montel, your frosted bearded blerdicorn here. Let me do this right. Hopefully you guys are taking care of yourself. Do what I tell you to always do, and I always recommend this. Hopefully you're watching these, covering this, staying as far away as you need to, as often as you need to, looking out for yourselves, your loved ones, and each other. Thank y'all so much for joining me. You already know what time it is. San Diego Comic-Con 2026 is in the books. And this was a banner year on so many levels. There's so much I want to talk about, but I'm not going to keep this video too long because people have lives and they have things to do and they've got nerding they got to do. There's blurting that has to be done. So I'm going to make sure to give my quick recap of my experience this year at San Diego Comic-Con 2026. And let me tell you, I had an amazing time. Oh my goodness. Oh, I had such a good time this year because things were different for me and for the convention as a whole, in my honest opinion. If you don't know, I normally go as a comic retailer, but this year I went as, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. For those of you joining me for the first time, hello. My name is Montel, also known as Navy Montel. I am a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, podcaster. I'm on Instagram and TikTok, an influencer. I like to bring positivity everywhere I go. I like to bring blurs and nerds from the dark into the light. Show them that there is a place, a platform, a space for you to be your best blurdy and nerdy self with zero expectations and all love. And yes, we do defend each other from the basement virgins out here who are still living in their mom's basement, still wearing the same Flintstone shirt, wearing probably the same shorts that they've been wearing for years, smelling like a 3-day-old wet hot pocket. We are not here to give basement virgins a platform. We are here to give every blurred and nerd out here the opportunity to celebrate, to manifest, to even be inspired, to go for it. Celebrate your fandom, celebrate what you enjoy, and celebrate your passions, always and forever. And I'm one of those guys who firmly believes that. So thank you for joining me today. If you have been a long time subscriber, you've been hanging out with your boy, I thoroughly appreciate y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. On so many levels, y'all have continued to keep the wind beneath my wings, and I thank you for that. So let's get to it. Woo! Where do we begin? First of all, San Diego Comic-Con 2026 was in, of course, San Diego at the San Diego Convention Center. This year's attendance seems like it was more because normally the convention's attendance is about 130,000 people plus. But I noticed some changes this year with how the convention was structured. And we'll get to that in a second. But I definitely got to give some shout outs before we get into the list. First of all, shout out to Regine Sawyer. This lady is my hero. She is the founder of Women in Comics. She is a comic writer. She's been in the industry for years. And she was the reason why I was able to attend this year, not only as a professional, but as press. as I was representing women in comics, and I was covering most, if not, I couldn't cover all of the Afrocentric panels, but I covered most of them, including the ones for Wink, and also being able to be in the space as a press capacity. I've never been able to do press before because I was always a comic retailer because I had to go over my job. This year was different. So it was a blessing. So definitely thank you to Regine for that and just the people that I had a chance to meet. But I digress. Let's keep it on track here because I will be all over the place. So y'all know me with my videos. I'm mad excited to have all this energy and I can't stay on task for squat. So, registration, simple. Actually pretty easy this year. The volunteers were on point. I can't say so much about security because they had a hard time managing the crowd this year. But for the most part, people are like lemmings. If you lead them in the direction, they'll go. So registration was easy. Got into the sales pavilion, went to the industry side versus the regular registration side. Got my badge, got my pen. As you can see right there, this is the pen for this year. It was beautiful, and I got my bag. Bag is right here. I'm not going to pull it out. So they started something last year where you can pick up your registration and your badges on Tuesday versus coming in early on Wednesday. And it's worked quite successfully. It eliminates massive crowds because if people can get to the convention center before 5 p.m. to pick up your badges, then all you have to do is go to the convention. That's all you have to do is attend the convention, which was great. I loved it. And I got to meet up with my folks. So shout outs to Bree and Keisha from the Pink Riot podcast, the Pink Riot comic show. Those are my San Diego babies. Last year was their first year and they put in work, y'all. This year they paneled, I believe 3 times, including doing the spotlight panel for Stephanie Williams, who is another friend of mine. This year was a lot of reunions. I got to see Stephanie. I finally got to meet Carla Madrano, who's also Moon the Storyteller. She is incredible. I got to finally see Ebony Toussaint, who is part of the Melanated Minds podcast as well. I got to see Ryan Oakley, who is an incredible artist and one of the dopest people around. And the list goes on. I got to see Ashley Page and her husband Blake of Storytime. And I got to make sure I do it. And the creator of Namakasi, go pick this up. This is amazing. She did a good job on this. And there's a second one that she created, but I'm not going to pull that out. When I tell you the vibe and the energy this year was unlike anything that I've seen in the past years, that is an understatement. There was a level of excitement that exceeded all expectations. Maybe for the panels, maybe for the exclusives, maybe for the events, maybe for the celebrities, maybe for the artists and writers and things like that. I don't know, but all together it was huge. It was so overwhelming, and not in a bad way. You felt it as soon as you came anywhere within the vicinity of the convention center, whether you're in the first 2 or 3 blocks of the Gaslamp Quarter, and all of the decorations in the Gaslamp were spectacular. They devoted the arch, which says Gaslamp Quarter, they devoted it to Avengers Doomsday, and it looked really, really good. It looked really, really solid. And with that, noticing all those decorations, one of the things that I noticed that there were not the usual number of activations. Anyone who's attended San Diego before will tell you, across the boardwalk, along the walkway, in the gas lamp, and also behind the convention center, along the boardwalk, by the piers, there are activations that are sponsored by TV companies, TV studios, movie studios, anime studios, you name it. Normally there's something going on all the time, along the boardwalk. This year there was a huge reduction. There was nothing going on of note behind the convention center, and there were maybe 3 or 4 activations across the street. So we saw a reduction in activations, which actually added to the amount of people bum rushing the convention center. Now, I know it may have been about finances, it may have been logistics and anything like that, especially with the tariffs and everything else going on. I get it. But San Diego, if anyone's watching this, y'all need to bring back those activations, because it was felt in the amount of people coming to the convention center, and it felt more crowded, which is not a bad thing in the grand scheme of it all. But if you're an attendee for the first time, and there were a lot of first timers, it may have been overwhelming for them. So I was a little concerned as someone who's been going for years, I don't think too much of it, but I've been going since '06. So my opinion really doesn't matter. It's the new people who are going to probably be the most vocal and the loudest with their initial experiences. So that is a suggestion for later. This year, the panels that I attended were mostly of the Afrocentric. We had crowns, we had comics and advocacy. Oh my goodness, the list goes on and on and on. Pink Riot, like I said, they had the spotlight panel to the spotlight for Stephanie Williams. Black Heroes Matter had their panel, which unfortunately I couldn't make, which I always make every year. The Black panel had their thing with Michael Davis, and of course Stephanie was on that one. And there were a couple panels I could not attend because, y'all, this year I got to attend the Eisners. This is huge. If you're not familiar with the Eisner Awards, this is the Academy Award for the comic industry. Graphic novels, comics, writers, artists, you name it. And this is the symbol of excellence, along with the Inkpot. Those are the two awards that if you get either one of those, you are a person of note. And thanks to Regine, I was able to get in. And believe it or not, this is actually a Markov ballot. You're actually able to... I dropped it. Hold on. I'm back. So as people are announced, you're actually able to check off who wins on that. This is not an actual official ballot. This is what they provide you when you attend the award ceremony. And I've never been to anything that huge before as far as award ceremony. It was done really nicely. It was hosted by Phil Lamar, and I really appreciated and enjoyed that. I had a blast for that. I felt so important, as a professional. And in turn, because I attended the Eisners, I had the chance to meet one of the most incredible writers today, hot as can be. I got to meet the writer of Absolute Catwoman, Che Grayson. They were such a sweetheart. Let me tell you, they really were. They were accommodating, they were wholesome, and I had the chance to chat with them a couple of times during the course of the weekend. You feel the vibe of these creators, that they just want their creations to be appreciated and accepted and just overall desired. And they don't want anything to disrespect what they're doing in their work. And I appreciate that. And that's why I will always give my big ups to the Black comic writers, independent Black comic companies, everybody out there. We're talking Impound, Midnight, all these different comic companies out here. Black comic companies, if you will, who are putting in work and creating prolific stories. I want to see more of them spotlit at San Diego Comic-Con because they deserve to be in that space just as much as Marvel and DC and Image and all those other ones. I want to see them spotlight. I want to see them have a tape. I want to see them have panels. That's what I want to see. And Melanation was in, oh my gosh, was on Spotlight that weekend. So I got to enjoy most, if not all, of the melanated panels. I got to reunite with people that I know. I got to connect with people that I had not had a chance to meet in person. I got to meet Ashley Page in person, Miss Storytime, and her amazing husband Blake as they were writing Namakasi. I got to see Stephanie. I got to finally meet Asia Fulmore and DJ. Let me tell you, to have my temporal #1 signed by all three is a treasure. It's a treasure. And it's more than just the signature. Having the chance to meet them and talk with them and connect with them and even vibe with where their creativity is and just see them as people is always the most important thing at these conventions. People will always be the most important element of these conventions because you can put on the most incredible exhibit hall booths and with the finest exhibits and statues and everything else, but if there's nobody attending these conventions, what's the point? What is the absolute point? So, and of course, Che was gracious enough to sign my Catwoman #1, Absolute Catwoman #1. I'm gonna tell you, y'all need to keep an eyeball on them. They are going to be shining like supernovas out here. And I had the opportunity to meet one of the nominees from the Eisners, who created a graphic novel, Jibola and Connor created Fella, talking about a fella who created Afrobeats. This is an amazing book. If y'all have not checked this out, if you have not seen this, go pick this up. Jabola was such a sweetheart, an absolutely stand-up, incredible, passionate creator from Toronto. I had the chance to meet him, and let me tell you, I don't regret it. That is a friend right there. And this is what these conventions mean. You never know who you're going to connect with and vibe with at these events. San Diego is one of those ground zeros for nerds to come together to meet other people who are just as passionate and fiery about their fandoms and excited about meeting the people who bring them to life, whether they are the actors, the musicians, the artists, the writers, whoever it might be, whether it's printed media or visual. So definitely shout outs to that one. The downsides. Ooh. The activations was one. Hall H continues to be a mess as far as the lines go, and I've never been in Hall H in all the years that I've gone because I don't have that kind of time. People will camp out. People will violate the lines. I don't know what's going on, but it needs to be rectified because people have given Hall H such a bad reputation, not for the panels and not for the displays, but for the line management. When I tell you, you can go online and look at the pictures of the line for San Diego Comic-Con for 2026 for Hall H, you will see that I'm not kidding. So there's that line management. Also, bring back the activations. And that's all I can say. Bring back the activations because they diffuse the crowd so people do not feel like that they're scrunched up and bunched up together. And overall, I did not have a bad time at all. I got to go to my first industry parties, never been to them, and they're the perfect places for networking and connecting with people. I got to meet Scott Snyder. Oh my gosh, such a party animal, but really, really sweet guy. Of course, I connected with people that I know. M. Shy Dash, the creator of Fumes, she was there. She's a friend of mine anyway, but to see her being celebrated and being on panels at San Diego Comic-Con is always good to see our queens who are creating and they're making worlds and they're writing stories and creating images. They're being celebrated, as well as my fellow kings out here who are doing the damn thing and making no bones about it. Queen G22, I met her accidentally, but she's always been one of my favorite people. A YouTuber, y'all go check her out. I got to finally meet Sean Martinborough, one of the GOATs in the comic industry. Such a sweet and very accommodating guy. I really appreciate he gave me his card and everything and said, you know, we need to link up because I'm gonna invite him to be on my show. When I tell you, thinking about it now, y'all, I am so overwhelmed with the joy of knowing that I was a part of something magnificent and I got to be in most times in the room where it happens. I'm grateful. I am honored. I am humbled and I am appreciative. And this continues to show why being a blerd is the most beautiful thing. Being a nerd is incredible, but there's something about being a blerd, y'all. Let me tell you, the celebrations are that much sweeter. The victories are that much more important. And your presence becomes even more relevant to the overall story. And definitely shout out to my friend Tareen Ashley, who is an author. This was her first San Diego, and she, oh my goodness, where is her book? I have the original of The Great Balance. This is like the book before the book, and I got this from her when I knew her, working with her, but she is doing great things. She is writing book after book. She came this year and she cosplayed as the original characters from this book, and let me tell you, she nailed this. Oh my goodness, I was so proud of her and be able to see her pop up and do her thing. So definitely go check out T.A. Davenport, The Great Balance. The book is amazing. The series, I should say, is incredible. But it's not about what people have done. It's about how you connect. In the convention space, it's always important to remember that you are not a monolith. There are other people just like you, celebrating just like you, different fandoms just like you. So be respectful, be yourself, and be understanding. Empathy is not a dead art, especially if you're going to a convention because you came to celebrate, right? So what are we doing? San Diego, work on your lines at Hall H. Let's bring back the activations. Let's continue the fun, and let's continue to make it amazing. All right? Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I will give San Diego Comic-Con, despite the pitfalls, I will measure the victories at 7 out of 5. When you know I go over the regular number, you know it's a bop. It was an amazing time this year. This was a very memorable time. This year marks 20 years that I've attended this convention, and I am never disappointed, ever. I don't think I've ever had a year where I was disappointed. Even at the worst times, it's a good time. If you have the opportunity to attend San Diego Comic-Con, do it. Even if it's just for a day. If you have the opportunity to come as an attendee, come as an attendee. If you can't, look into the volunteer program. The volunteer program is a very solid program. They need manpower to help with line management and any other types of tasks that the San Diego needs. They need volunteers, people to help them out with. So check that out. There are ways to get into San Diego. You just have to look for them. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me, y'all. I am going to get ready for work because his brother's got to go earn his coin. Y'all have been incredible. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to buy me a coffee so I can continue to make these incredible videos, please do that. Past donations have allowed me to get better lighting. I've finally got a tripod that I took with me to San Diego, and I've got videos that I'm going to be uploading with the people that I was able to connect with, including Ashley, Carla Madrano, aka Moon the Storyteller, and also with Carl Vernado and Dr. Camille Jones. Y'all, I can't wait. So, in the meantime and in between time, as I tell all of you beautiful, sexy people to do, please continue to do this for yourselves, your loved ones, your fellow nerds, your fellow blerds, everybody that celebrates all the conventions that bring the fun, and all the creators who bring you your joy. Stay nerdy, stay geeky, and please, 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 stay sexy. I'll see y'all later. I don't want to go to work, but I got to. I'll see you later. Bye.